When I first got to university, I honestly had no idea what laptop to buy, what you're going to study, what the workflow will be like, or what really mattered. And trust me, I suffered. After being in school for 2 years and seeing what my colleagues were using, the mistakes some of them made, and I realized many students don't struggle choosing the right laptop. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly which laptop you should buy according to these 6 categories. I'll give you a recommendation which will be a low budget option, a mid-range option, and a high budget option. This way, you understand what fits in your academic program, go to the market, and confidently buy a laptop without stress. Students in this college don't really need a high performance laptop because most of their works involve research, documents, and field related tasks. What they need is a device with a good battery life, durability, and a good performance for everyday tasks. Here are the laptop specifications they should focus on. So they should go for a laptop which has a battery life of 8+ hours, and also the design should be sleek or something durable. And also the RAM is supposed to be minimum 8 gig and go up to 16 is okay. For the room, which is the disk, it can be 256 gig and it's supposed to be SSD. Processor should start from Core i3, which is actually the minimum for a great student. And also the spec, you can prefer 14, which I think is the best, but it shouldn't be less than 14 as it should be too small. And also extras, good outdoor brightness. Yeah, the suggested laptop from the low budget to the high budget. So for the low budget, I prefer going for the HP ProBook 440 G6, which actually have a good requirement for agric students. And for the mid budget, you can actually go with the Dell Inspiron 14 with Core i5 or Core i3. It's good. And also for the high budget, you can actually go for the MacBook Air M2 and also good for agric students. So next up, College of Arts and Social Sciences. So these students mostly writing, presentation, reading, than heavy softwares. So their requirement is pretty simple. You have to go for the one which has a very good battery and it will be lasting for about 8 to 12 hours. And again, the design is supposed to be thin, light, and portable. And also the RAM is supposed to be above 8 gig of RAM with a room of 256 gig SSD because SSD is faster than ADD. So I prefer SSD more than ADD. And processor is Core i3 or Ryzen 3. Prefer for their workload or can go above, but this one is preferable because of their workload. Display is supposed to be 14 or 15, not necessarily having above this because you aren't going to do any stuff that require a big screen. And the extras is something that you're actually going to think of, maybe or light something that will make the laptop look pretty cool. My recommendations that you can actually go for. And then we'll start with the low budget, which actually I prefer going for the Dell Latitude 5480, which has a pretty cool things that you can actually use as a student. And also for the mid budget, I actually prefer HP Pavilion 14, which is also pretty cool for students in art and social sciences. And also for the high budget, actually this is crazy, but actually if you can afford it, this is very cool for you, which is the MacBook Air M1, which is pretty cool for us students as well. Let's have College of Health Sciences. So these students are the medical, nursing, and pharmacy students. They actually not need heavy softwares. They are not going to be using heavy software, so they actually need a battery span of 8 to 12 hours, and the design is supposed to be light or portable. And RAM is supposed to be above 8 gig of RAM with room of 256 gig SSD. Processor, which is i5 or Ryzen 5, is also recommended to students in this college. Display is supposed to be between 14 to 16, which is pretty cool. And you need actually a laptop with a very good camera. Mostly these students actually go live meetings or Zoom meetings, so actually you need the one with a very good camera. So that one is also one. So my recommendation to students in College of Health Science are the low budget is HP Book 840 G3, which has a good spec for students in this college. And also for the mid budget, you can actually go with the Lenovo IdeaPad 5, which is also good. And also for the high budget, you can actually prefer to go with the HP Envy 13, which is also good. Next up, College of Architecture and Planning. So basically for these students, they need a laptop with good performance, actually extremely good performance, because mostly they run high software on their laptop. Softwares different softwares, high softwares, and also for them actually their requirements supposed to be in between powerful laptop and extremely powerful laptop. So I'll start with the battery, which is supposed to be good, but not main priority because I've already said good laptop or high performance laptop with a GPU mostly don't have a good battery. Not because the battery is not good at all, but because the GPU or the laptop actually takes more power to supply the laptop. And for the design, it's supposed to be large screen and strong cooling. The large screen is because mostly you are going to focus on the screen to determine the accuracy of what you are doing, the color accuracy, how you are going to see things actually going to measure very more. So yeah, you are supposed to go with the one with the large screen. And also RAM, which is supposed to be 16 gig minimum, and 32 gig is also good. You can actually go on and have 64 gig, which is actually crazy for you. And also for the room, which is the R1, which is going to be 512 SSD. But for me personally, if you have the budget, you can actually go with the one with 1 terabyte or 1 TB. And for the processor, not less than i7, i5, damn, bro. Go with the one with i7 or i9 preferably because this is the best one for you and it's actually going to help you in this challenge. And for the display, you have to go for the one with 15.6 or 17 as already explained, and color accurate already explained. And one important one is go with the one with GPU, whether GTX or RTS or anyone that has a GPU, go for that one because your main focus is going to be using your laptop to do a lot of crazy works. So yeah, here are the requirements you need. For the low budget, you actually need to go with Acer Nitro 5. Crazy, bro. It has everything that you need to elevate your work or your studies. And for the mid budget, you can actually go for the ASUS TUF A15 or ASUS TUF A15. I don't know how I'm going to pronounce it, but this actually gets everything that you need. Make sure you go with the one with the good specifications already discussed. And for the high budget, you can actually go with the MacBook Pro M2. Yeah, kind of crazy, but it's good and it's helpful to you. Let's have College of Engineering. Bro, this college actually need power. They are demanding. They need a laptop with actually a good performance. And for that sake, they are going to go for the one with a medium battery. And what I mean by a medium battery is definitely because of how the GPU consume power and how some parts in their computer actually consume power, they don't actually need to go for the one with a good battery. Even the one with a good battery will even drain faster because of how their software that they'll be going to use will drain the battery power. For the design, it's supposed to be strong hinge and durable. The reason why it's supposed to be strong hinge because most laptop with a GPU or a very good performance mostly actually are costly. Okay, for students like this, here are my suggested laptop you should go for. So the first one is Lenovo ThinkPad T490. I think this laptop actually go and it's really good for students in College of Engineering. And again, mid budget is supposed to be 8 Pavilion 15 Core i5 or i7. And also for the high budget, you should go for Dell SPS 15, which is actually crazy for students in College of Engineering. Okay, so for students in College of Science, mostly you don't actually need a laptop with extremely high performance, but you don't also need a laptop with extremely low performance. You just need a laptop with a good performance, which I think you're supposed to go for the battery in between 6 to 8 hours, but the laptop which actually demands more power, consume more power. So mostly it won't last long. And also for design, supposed to be medium weight, supposed to be light or portable, and RAM supposed to be above 8 gig of RAM with room of 256 gig SSD. Processor, which is i5 or Ryzen 5, is also recommended to students in this college. Display supposed to be between 14 to 16, which really cool. And you need actually a laptop with a very good camera. Mostly these students actually go live meetings or Zoom meetings, so actually you need the one with a very good camera. So here are my recommendations to students in this college. And first, I'll go with the low budget laptop, which is Lenovo ThinkPad T480. Actually, is recommendable to students in this college of science. And also for mid budget, actually recommend the Acer Aspire 5 with Ryzen 5 processor, which is also cool. And also for the high budget, actually go with the AP MV X360, which has a good specification and actually is a great one for students in College of Science. That's all for today. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. And as always, I'm JK Tech and I always provide. Make sure to subscribe and become part of the favorites. Thanks for watching.